And here we go. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and the Giannis Antetokounmpo era with the Milwaukee Bucks is coming to a close. Bombshell report coming from Charania on Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. He is tweeting out, two-time MVP Giannis is ready for a new home at the February 5th NBA trade deadline or in the offseason, as several rival teams make aggressive offers to the Milwaukee Bucks for him. And the franchise is starting to listen. This comes on the heels of reports that ESPN's Mark J. Spears said that Giannis has played his last game as Milwaukee Buck. This comes on the heels of Jake Fisher, who covers the NBA at large, saying that the Milwaukee Bucks are starting to realize that trading Giannis Antetokounmpo would be best for both parties. It finally sounds like the Milwaukee Bucks are going to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo. And before I tell you what Ian Begley just said, I want to hear from you in the comments. Should the Knicks go all in on Giannis? Type Y for yes, type N for no. As you're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Ian Begley quote tweeting Charania saying, yes, the Knicks will be among teams making aggressive offers to Milwaukee for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He also adds, the Miami Heat will be there as well. So, the Knicks are going to do everything that they possibly can with the trade chips and limited draft assets that they have to land Giannis Antetokounmpo in a blockbuster trade. And it's the right move. It's 100% the right move. This team is currently constructed, would have to have every single ball bounce their way. And every single little thing would need to go their way to win an NBA championship. I don't think it is impossible for this current team to win it, but if you insert Giannis into this team, and I would assume you're giving up Cat, you're giving up Mikal Bridges, you're probably giving up Deuce McBride as well, that would be a championship level team. I firmly believe that. Shams, the Bucks are starting to listen to offers, and Giannis is ready for a new home. He also adds, Bucks, not in a rush to trade Giannis, are willing to wait until the offseason if the price point of blue chip young talent and or surplus of draft capital is not met. I'll say this. If Giannis is not dealt at the trade deadline and he is going to be traded in the offseason, that significantly increases the chances that he is going to be a New York Knick. The Knicks would then be able to add 2 or 3 more first-round picks to their trade package. So the longer this draws out, if it does go past the NBA trade deadline, I actually think it's more likely that he is going to be a New York Knick. Shams also saying Milwaukee has indicated to interested teams that the organization is not in a rush to complete a move and is willing to navigate Antetokounmpo's future in the offseason if it is believed price point of blue chip young talent and or draft picks isn't met. By waiting until the summer, the Bucks could also see which teams are able to offer more appealing draft picks in June. So, Shams comes out with a fastball and then kind of slow pitches you with a circle change. But it sounds like Giannis is going to be dealt. Not if, but when. It's not if Giannis is going to be traded anymore. It is going to be when Giannis Antetokounmpo is being traded. Who's going to make the offer? What is the Knicks' offer? I think if you're going to submit your best offer, it has to include cheap Deuce McBride, Karl-Anthony Towns, and or OG and Bridges. And I don't think it's both. I don't. But if it costs both, you know what? How do you watch that game last night versus the Kings and say, yep, this is a championship team around Jalen Brunson? They were in a dogfight with the 12-win Kings. until the final 4 minutes of the game when Jalen Brunson showed up and put on his Superman cape. And if you have to be reliant on Brunson going Superman mode in the clutch to win games against the 12-win Kings, you're in trouble. This team didn't lose 9 of its last 11 games or 11 of their last 16 games at one point by accident. And look, it's not all Cat's fault. It's not all Mikal Bridges' fault. But man, if they were playing the best ball of their career, it would be their reasons. It would be their fault while they're playing so well. Wow. Wow. Knicks, Heat, I would expect the Warriors to potentially send in a massive trade. Do the Thunder try to get sticky with it? Do the Spurs try to unite Giannis and Wemby? I don't know. Brett Siegel saying the Warriors' big plan at the deadline could be to acquire Andrew Wiggins and flip Jimmy Butler for AD or Giannis. I think every team is at least going to call the Bucks to see what they have to give up for Giannis. And we know that at one point Giannis only wanted to play for the Knicks. And he only wanted to be a Knick. And I still am going to stay on this. Giannis, you have to demand a trade, not request. We're done with all that, bro. You have to demand a trade. And you have to demand a trade to the Knicks. You have to use your power. Multi-time MVP. Finals MVP. NBA Finals champion. The face of the Bucks. The guy that made the Bucks billions of dollars over the last, 10 years since you've been there. Use your power. Because the Bucks don't care about you, bro. The Bucks no longer care about Giannis. They are looking to do what's best for Giannis. And you need to do what's best for you, Giannis. And that is forcing a trade to the Knicks. You want to win a championship? Knicks give you the best shot. I think the Knicks are the only team in the NBA that could offer a reasonable package for the Milwaukee Bucks and remain NBA Finals contenders. Because they're not going to give up Jalen Brunson. And they're not going to probably have to give up all 3 of Mikal, OG, and Cat. OG, Mikal, and Cat. Not going to have to give up all 3. This team is deep. They have what it takes. Do you want to go down as a top 10 player of all time? Because if you win one championship with the Knicks and you get to 2 and you have multiple MVPs, you're a defensive player of the year, and you win the Knicks a title for the first time since 1972 and 1973, Giannis Antetokounmpo, you are stamped as a top 10 player to ever play in the National Basketball Association. 1 ring here means more than 2 rings anywhere else. Nobody cares about the Heat. You want to go backpack your way with Steph Curry? Or you want to be a dog and be the king of New York, the king of the NBA, and the person that saved the Knicks from their NBA title drought? Also sounds like the Knicks may be trying to pair Drew Holiday with Giannis. That would require Towns and Mikal Bridges to go out. We're 8 days away from the NBA trade deadline. It's next week on Thursday. What's going to happen? Will Giannis be dealt? Sounds like they're listening to offers. It's time for Giannis to put his foot down and demand that he wants to be a New York Knick. If any moves, any news, any rumors come out, we're going to get you guys video ASAP. Hit that sub button and lock us in.